gentlemen, it is my distinct honor to introduce to you an extraordinary individual, a dynamic and eloquent speaker, a seasoned consultant, and a transformative coach who has been a source of inspiration for top executives and teams across the Bahamas since 2005. Through her company, CP Training and Consulting Services, Cherilee Pinda has left an indelible mark on a wide array of industries, including financial services, healthcare, insurance, tourism and hospitality, as well as education. Her unique blend of executive coaching expertise and human resource consultations has empowered countless professionals, equipping them with the necessary tools to thrive in today's competitive workforce. Cherilee's profound understanding of the corporate world has given her the ability to address critical factors that influence workplace dynamics. Her tailored training programs cover essential topics such as professionalism, effective communications, transitioning into management roles, leadership, and conflict resolution. These programs are not only educational, they are transformational, providing participants with the skills and confidence necessary to excel in their careers. In addition to her work with corporate leaders, Cherilee is a passionate advocate for leadership and professional growth at all levels. She has played a pivotal role in youth development initiatives, continually inspiring and empowering young minds with her powerful insights. Through her partnership with NGOs and government sectors, Ms. Pinda has served as the lead facilitator of the National Certified Youth Leaders Program, sponsored by the Bahamas Ministry of Youth, Sports, and Culture. This research-based program, offered both in person and virtually, equips youth practitioners with the skills to identify and address issues facing young people across various settings and has been met with considerable success. Cherilee's commitment to education and professional development extends beyond the consulting work. She has contributed to academic world as a former adjunct lecturer at Omega College in the areas of applied educational psychology, introduction to psychology, and organizational communications. Her academic credentials are equally as impressive, holding an associate degree from none other than the College of the Bahamas, a bachelor's in psychology with sociology from Clark Atlanta University, and a master's degree in clinical social work from Smith's College in Northampton, Massachusetts. Though currently on sabbatical, Cherilee remains a lifelong learner, actively involved in research and discovery projects. Her dedication to continuous learning and her passion for making a positive impact are what truly sets her apart. So please join in welcoming the inspiring and influential Cherilee Pinda.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, because the bio I sent was not that long. Hallelujah. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, let me tell you how pleased I am to be here and how pleased I am to share with you in this occasion. I also want you to know that I am very aware of certain things. First of all, my time was from 12:30 to 1 o'clock, so I know that my time is starting after this prescribed time. I also realize that I am in place, or should I say, I am blocking a very important portion of today's agenda, which is lunch. And so with those things in mind, I will not be very long. I've always had the pleasure of being known as a speaker who gets in, says it, and gets out. And so today will be no different. As tall as I am, that is how long this presentation will be. So, the people who are in the room are the people who I was meant to speak to today. The ones who have left were not supposed to, in my mind, based on God's plan, be in the room. So for the persons who are in the room, this obviously is for you. My topic that I forged and I gave to my invitees is forge ahead with hold on, what did I do? Forge ahead with excellence, building a stronger UB. When I consider my alma mater, the then College of the Bahamas, which is now the University of the Bahamas, I am reminded of some very important things. I'm reminded of the foundation on which this institution was built. And this institution was built on the basis of knowledge, truth, and integrity. And that is our watchwords, or should be our watchwords, when we come into this place on any given day. I've heard as I sat about the process you are now undertaking with accreditation. And the truth of the matter is, for this institution that is guided by knowledge, by truth, and by integrity, this is merely a drop in the bucket of what you have the capacity to do. So when I think of the University of the Bahamas, I am saying to you, and you cannot see the definition based on the chairs, but I am saying to you that I want you to move quickly. Forge ahead is defined as moving forward quickly to make a lot of progress quickly. My friends, I don't know about you, but time is of the essence because we are far older than we were 50 years ago. We're older than we were yesterday, and we're even older than we were an hour ago. And so this is not the time to move with the way that some people move when you go to certain offices. We won't call any names. But you know when you go to certain places in this country, this is how they come to you. Yes, ma'am. So you want to know it for how much years? 1 or 3? Can I have your old one, please? Thank you. Copy machine. Gladys, you have any sugar in your drawer? Let me a little bit. Put it on my desk, please. And you have any of them cookies from yesterday? Leave me 2. Thanks. Here you go, ma'am. Go down to window D, and they'll call your name. Next. That is the speed many of us operate on. And it's not just in that institution. It's everywhere. And if we're going to call the spade a spade, I'm sure it happens here too. You are asked to provide a report, you drag your feet. You are asked to give some numbers, you drag your feet. You are asked to review a document, you drag your feet. You are sent an email, you don't read it till 2 days after. No one has to tell me because y'all are mine. And when I say y'all are mine, I've been a Bahamian all my life. I have studied you. You know my degrees in psychology. I have analyzed you. I have encountered many of you in the institutions that I have worked with and for almost 20 years. I know what happens. And if I am telling a mistruth, raise your hand. So against that backdrop, we need to be in a position as an institution and a country where we forge ahead with whatever it is that we have given to do. And that means to move quickly and to move with a lot of progress. My friends, at the end of the day, not only do I want you to move, I want you to recognize that in moving quickly, you are doing something that's very, very important. You are keeping in pace with world-class standards. We are the only country where we move and walk as slow as we do. If you've been to New York, been to California, been to all over these places, people are moving. They put on their tennis shoes and they are moving. They go in those subways and they go from one place to the other for distances far reaching, and they are moving quickly. Because at the end of the day, people are trying to make progress. If you are satisfied being just where you are and seeing only the circle that you are in, something is wrong with that picture. And I am challenging you today to come out of that and to move quickly as it relates to your progress. So forging ahead, my friends, is what you have to do, because there are too many things working against us. First of all, as a university, we have competition. Back in the day when I went to COB, and I am a 1992 graduate of the College of the Bahamas, when I graduated, there weren't many options out there. Now you can throw a stick on any corner and there's some educational institution offering something. Some certification, some diploma, some this, some that. There's competition out there. And so as an educational institution, you have always held the status of being premier. But my friends, if you don't hold on to not only what you got, but also progress what you have to the next level, competition will swallow you up. Competition isn't just about local competition. Competition is the fact that there are thousands of universities throughout the world. And our people, number two, are more exposed. They're traveling. They're seeing TikTok. They look on social media. They know what's happening around the world. They want to have internships in Paris. They want to go and study the whales in Canada. Come on, people. You have some young people graduating today who are wanting to do some degrees that I haven't heard about. Never even heard about. But that's what we're talking about, exposure. And it should be that way. We are supposed to be exposed. With each given day, with each given week, month, or year, we're supposed to not only look for new things, we should search out to new things, and we should embrace the new things. But that exposure gives us a cost as the University of the Bahamas. It means that we have that working against us. The next thing, there are more opportunities available now for educational funding. Back in the day, you either got a government scholarship or you got a Life Key scholarship. Right or wrong? Not now. Funding is all over the place. All over the place we have funding. Not only locally, but also we can tap into some international funding. And then what did I see as a trend? And I'm saying this because there's research that needs to be done about this. Do you notice how much people have their children in the US now? That's by design. That is by design. The design is so they don't have to pay out-of-state cost for college. That they can tap into the resources because technically they will be US citizens. So you will have a good chunk of our Bahamian students who technically are Bahamian American students who at the end of their time in high school, gone. Gone for the opportunities that are available to them because of their birth. So that is another gap that you can expect to see. And remember I told you. Next, what is against us? There are 4 more enrichment programs available to young people. When I talk about enrichment programs, there was Girl Guides when I was around. GGYA just started. Now you got Girl Guides, GGYA, what else? What are all these things these young people involved in? YEP, what else? Yes, what else? JA, STEM programs, summer programs through Focus. What else? Cadets. The point I'm making is these enrichment programs put them in prime positions to be those all-around students that colleges are jockeying for. They are jockeying for that. And they will snap up our children in a heartbeat. So I hear President Horder when she says our goal is to what? Graduate them. But honey, trust, let me be professional. Colleagues, if the facts are the facts, our children have more opportunities available that make them well-suited to go into any university. Not just the grades, but all of these enrichment programs that make them well-suited as all-around students. And finally, the price point is now better with other educational institutions. I know that I had to worm my way into making sure my COB tuition was paid. And I thank God for financial aid. Oh, Lord, I remember the day when I went in and I said, I'm a single mother and I need some financial aid. And they had pity on me. So they say, what are your grades? And I had a 4.0. And they say, okay, got some money that next semester. But trust me when I tell you, because of hybrid learning, because people can now do distance learning, the cost is far more affordable to get a degree these days. So being here, just for the sake of, oh, I went to the University of the Bahamas, will no longer be the pull. No, because when it comes to money and cents, it may be cheaper for them to explore all those other options that are available. If you're still with me, say amen. So with that being what it is, my friends, frustration. Frustration is what we see in environments where we don't forge ahead and move quickly. Frustrating for the student, but it's not just frustrating for the student. I remember at COB, it was the long lines that caused the frustration. At UB, it's the slow service that's causing the frustration. And the truth of the matter is, when I look around and I see what's around me, this frustration is happening. Students frustrated, the parents frustrated, faculty frustrated, staff frustrated. That's a whole lot of frustration. That's a whole lot. And let me tell you what this frustration breeds. It breeds, my friends, resentment. It breeds anger. It breeds nonchalance, which means you don't care anymore. And it breeds quiet quitting. Raise your hand if you know what quiet quitting is. Good. Some of you don't, so I'll explain. Quiet quitting is the process in human resources where people are at work, but they ain't working. We know this concept from years ago, but it's now defined and it's now been studied in research. Quiet quitting, my friends, is deadly because you have people who seem to be at this place. So we have a place that has 50, 100 people, but when we peel back the onion, we only got 25. We only got 25. And you expect frustration not to happen in that situation? You expect people to not be pleased in that environment? Quiet quitting is major. And it costs institutions dollars and cents. Because what technically is happening is I'm paying you this $60,000, $45,000, $23,000 a year. And I wasted my money because you don't wake it. You showing up, you attending, but you gone. Turn to your friend, your neighbor, your colleague on the side of you and say, don't quit here. Yeah. Don't quit. Don't quit. I want you to know that if you are here, be here fully. If you are here, be here fully. Bring your mind and your body with you when you come. Bring your full self when you come. Better yet, bring your best self when you come. That is very important. And so when I refer to the best self, the truth of the matter is, my friends, many of us have rested on our laurels. We've rested on the fact that we were COB. You know, COB did this, COB did that. We're at the University of the Bahamas. Listen to me. Don't rest on your laurels. And don't rest on who you knew to have this position or who you were connected to have the position or to come in here. Understand that when we rest on laurels, we continue what I call substandard performance and we have a mediocre mindset. And mindset, my friends, are very, very important. If we are honest, we do not bring our best selves to work when we come in this place. And faculty, staff, administration, all guilty. Bring your best self. It is a requirement because, my friends, you're at 50 years. You are at 50 years. So let me explain some things that I like to explain. When I turned 50, a shift happened in me. And if you are over the age of 50, you know what I mean. When I hit 50, when I hit 50, I said a shift happened. I started to think about those things that I hadn't accomplished. I started to think about those things that I need to accomplish. I started to think about what I wasn't going to tolerate anymore. At 50, I asked the Lord, I say, Jesus, if they ain't for me, just get them out of my life. At 50, I started to examine my self-worth. At 50, I thought about, listen, Cherry, you've made it for a half a century. But girl, the chances are low you may make it for another 50. And that's the truth. We at 50 may have shorter years ahead of us than we have behind us. But that's what came to my mind when I hit 50. And you are now at that stage. At 50, this is the time when you are at your peak. Or you should be at your peak. This is the time, quite honestly, that accreditation needs to be happening. And to be honest, it should happen a little while ago. This is the time, my friends, when you should not only be at your best, but the best is required because if you think about it, you have learned some lessons in the past. Come on now. That should put you in a better position now. So at the end of the day, 50 is awesome. But 50 is just a time when you have to forge ahead. And 50 is definitely the time when you have to think about excellence. For those who can't see it, this slide says, excellence is not an option, but a requirement. I want you to type that in your phone. Put that in your notes. Put that in your notes because every day, especially on those challenging days, those days when you don't want to be here, those days when you're really tired, those days when like, man, what is this about? That is when I want you to reflect on this note in your note section of your phone. Think of the fact that at the end of the day, excellence is not an option. It is a requirement. And so then, you say to me, Ms. Pinder, why? You heard all this morning about this accreditation process. And I listened as I was here, and so God must have known why he delayed it, so that I could actually hear part of the conversation. This accreditation process, as you would have heard, is rigorous, it's grueling, it takes a lot out of you. But my friends, at the end of the day, it's also very rewarding. Because what you're able to say to people is that the piece of paper that represents a degree from the University of the Bahamas is worthy. It's worth a whole lot, and more than just paper that was printed. You know that at the end of the process of accreditation, you have been certified, you have been examined, they've looked at processes, they've looked at qualifications, they've looked at the way you operate your campus in terms of the upkeep of the buildings, et cetera, that allow you to be in a position to say to the world, I am at a world-class standard. As an individual and professional, I go through accreditation processes all the time. I'm just not a professional. I am a certified professional. I've taken exams, I've studied, I have passed those exams. Every 3 years, I have to recertify or recert and do extensive educational courses throughout the 3-year process to upload into the system to show evidence that I have been doing things to keep on the cutting edge. Do you understand what I mean? And so if individuals go through this, it not only makes sense that organizations will as well. And I heard the question being asked, when it comes to the transfer of our grades, or transfer of credits, will it make a difference if it's from an accredited university? Absolutely. And the French will say absolument. It makes a whole lot of difference. And you want to put your students in a position where they will be successful. We don't want them to succeed only here. We want them to succeed on a worldwide stage. And that's what accreditation will do. But let me tell you what accreditation does for you as staff and faculty. It says as well that you have met a world-class standard. So at the end of the day, when the Dr. Oriaki said that, for those who haven't made the qualification, we have not touched your salary, you have stayed at 90,000, and we have not even thought about letting people go. I listened and I said, now, ain't this or something? this a something. Because my friends in the world of the real of the world, you have a certain timeline to get up to speed, or you will be given your letter. So the fact that that happens, I was like, this is interesting. Because in the world of the world of the world, that doesn't happen. And because I know that, that's what forces me every 3 years to do what I need to do to keep my status. Let me tell you what else I heard her say. We haven't touched your 90,000. And I'm thinking to myself, do they really know the real thing though? Do you know, you want me to tell you the real thing? 90,000 is all you will stay at. Unless you have some industrial agreement that lets you have some lump sum after certain times because you have the luxury of the union, then that's good. But in all honesty, if you want your paycheck to move from 90 to 100, and from 100 to 110, and from 110 to 120, you got to do some stuff. You got to do some stuff. And let me tell you the other part about it. There are people in our country, in the Bahamas, either working here or not working for the University of the Bahamas, are adjunct faculty in universities abroad. You're like, what? So the point I'm making is, with your 90,000, and you're from an accredited university, and you have credentials, and you have all of your other accolades, and you apply to Mercer University to teach their applied physics course, you'll be considered. Because at the end of the day, Georgia and Florida are no longer saying you need to be on campus to teach, and you need to be in country to teach. And as a result, that same money that they pay them will be wired to your account. Now, if you could see a wire transfer right about now, say amen. Okay. So, my friends, that's what this is about. That's what this is about. Don't see this process as being so tedious and so hard and what we going through this for and this don't make no sense and blah, 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 blah. The university benefits, the students benefit, faculty and staff will benefit, and the benefit will not only be in, oh, I did good for my country, but there will be financial benefit if you do it right. So that's all I'm saying, and may the words of the wise be sufficient. So then, excellence is not an option. It's a requirement. And so, my friends, what does it look like? Have a growth mindset, and I'm finished. Have a growth mindset. It says have a positive attitude. Whatever negative Nancy you had, leave that at the door, please. Whatever this can't work, we've never done it that way, spirit that you have, park that outside the gate, please. If you have a reason as to why something can't work, don't just say this can't work. What we do in this environment, if you're going to show your value, this will not work because of A, B, C, and D. Research in the Cayman and Bermuda says that when you do Z, you get this result. Given their population is similar to us in size, we can look at them as reference points by which to... Come on now. Come on now. So, but if all you're saying is, this can't work. We tried it before. No. That's not what you do. You are showing value in this season that I'm speaking about. And value says, it cannot work. This is why. This is what I recommend. This is the research supporting that basis. Should you need further consultation, I am available. That's what that conversation should look like. So if you're not prepared to do that, I want y'all to bring me back. No, I can say it. If you're not prepared to do that, then you will have to do what many people are doing, which is a sad thing. You will have to sit in the corner until your name is called. That's a sad thing. I want to know that when I call Dr. Toppin, I'm going to get a research-based answer that is of value. I want to know that when I ask Denise Barnes to come and sit on this committee, that this is going to be something that will progress us and progress us quickly because it's excellent. I want to know when I ask Colin Major, what do you think about such and such? It's not just going to come from the top of his head, and it's because I like him that he's going to give me an answer, but he's going to call the spade a spade based on what's in the best interests of the organization. Knowledge, truth, and what? Okay. What else should it look like? Know your job and do your job exceptionally well. Know your job and do your job exceptionally well. I don't care if I'm talking to the custodian or the environmental health staff. I don't care if I'm talking to physical plant staff. I don't care if I'm talking to the associate dean or to the faculty or to the VP or to the president. Know your job and do it exceptionally well. We can no longer be at the place where a C is good. If you have a child going into school this September, raise your hand. Good. For those who have children who was going to school in September, do any of you tell your child, now give mommy a C or D, I'll be okay with that? Raise your hand if you tell your child that. Raise your hand if you tell them I need an A or B and nothing less. That's what we tell our children. We tell our children to give us the best and to be the best, because at the end of the day, we know that they have to have it if they're gonna have a good future. Why are we doing different? Why are we just in this CD mode and we're quite fine? And we think that, okay, well, I have my degree and we have this and we have that. Listen to me, I graduated in 92. Nothing they talked about in 92, apart from foundational stuff, is still relevant today. I graduated in 96 with my master's. Nothing in 96 is relevant to what's happening in 2024. Do you hear me? Do not rest on what you have or what you had and think that it's okay, because then what it does is it puts you in the CD category. And then we are the first ones to say, oh, these children, these results so bad. We are CD. We are CD. We are operating as CD. So what my challenge is to you, very boldly and very unapologetically, is be the A student. Be the A performer in this University of the Bahamas. You deserve it. The students deserve it. The stakeholders deserve it. Your family deserves to reap the rewards of it. So be the A student, or in our case, the A performer. What does it look like? Moving with urgency and being accountable to your stakeholders. Those same students who make us upset and mad at times, if it ain't for them, we don't have a job. They're a stakeholder. Your colleague who you had a little beef with and whatever because she didn't put your name on the report that was submitted, that's a stakeholder. Don't pull back your work, and don't pull back your response to her request, all because you're in your feelings. Get over it. Pray to the Lord about it. Listen to the Marvin Winans song. But know that you are accountable to your stakeholders. That's your colleagues, your students, your parents, and to the Bahamian community. Okay? Next, take ownership and ensure satisfaction. Don't pass it here, pass it there. Oh, that's his job. Oh, he should be doing that. Oh, that's not my department. Take ownership. Be honest, and if you can't find the answer, you don't have the answer, I don't know, but give me a minute. Let me get it to you. I don't know, but let me connect you with someone who knows. I don't know. I'm not aware right now, but just give me a moment and I'll get back to you. Let me get your phone number. Okay, and this is mine. And I am Miss Pinder. That is what we do. And so the last one, you can't see it. Timely and efficient communication. Very, very important. Communicate, communicate, communicate. Let people know the process, let people know where we're at, let people know the status, let people know what you're thinking. Communication is key. So when you execute with these steps, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps, that's what excellence looks like. And so I want you to embody it. Because my friends, this is what it's about. This is what it's about. It's about having a UB that is strong and it can withstand the test of time, no matter which area and which stakeholder population we are dealing with. Know that at the end of the day, it has to be excellent because this is it. This is it. This is it. When I taught, I knew full well being a good teacher was not about how well my lesson plan looked and how much activities I put into my syllabus. And it wasn't about the lofty words that I know. And it wasn't about the degrees that I had behind my name. Being a good teacher was when my students were able to produce. And this is your test. When they can go out into the world and they can make a demanding impact and they can be seen as players in their field and thought leaders, then that's when you know that you've done it all well. Because that is what the embodiment of excellence is. And so, my friends, when we're excellent, we get a strong UB. And we need a strong UB because you are the nexus of what this country needs. And nexus means you're at the center. You're at the core of what this country needs. When we talk about what's broken and needs fixing in our country, UB has the potential to shift and change that. You have the potential to guide what policymakers do. And so don't forget your role. A stronger UB means that you model behavior and you model performance so that others can follow. When the accreditation team comes here, they're going to be speaking to everyone. They're going to be speaking to the people on the street. What do you think about the University of the Bahamas? What will they say? They'll be talking to the custodial staff. What do you think about the College of the Bahamas? Child, I don't know. They don't even treat people like equals. There's segregation. That them said get there and this said get there. No. When they talk to the faculty, what will the faculty say? I'm very frustrated. Every time I speak about, getting new things and new processes to bump up my curriculum, I keep getting knocked down. They are comment people. And I trust you. It is behooving that you speak well. But you can't speak it if it ain't happening. So between now and December, March, April, whenever they come, take my words, you, the small group, and you make it happen. This ain't everybody. See, some people already leave when you come on the stage. That's not the point. Margaret Mead, an American anthropologist, said that it only takes a small group of committed citizens to change the world. So in this institution, you are the change makers. You are. And don't ever forget your power and your purpose. It's to bring about change. You can drive research and policy. And you show us that academia is not only about subject matter and intelligence, but it's about how you treat people and how you navigate your internal and external resources. That is what you're about. That's a stronger UB. And so I've given you a charge on how not only you must be excellent, but why it's important to do so and do it quickly. I've given you a charge as to why you are the people to do it and why UB needs to be strong. Because my friends, at the end of the day, a stronger UB means that we have to keep this house intact. I just finished renovating my house. Not the whole thing, because I can't afford the whole thing. But I started the kitchen. That's an expensive and serious place. Our house was built in 1976. My mother passed in 2017, and upon her passing, I got the house. I didn't have to share with nobody. I'm the only child. Good. But in getting the house, I quickly began to understand having a house came a responsibility. And the house was built in 76, which means this year it is 48. For me to get anything new in relation to my house, I had to do an electrical upgrade. Y'all with me? In order for me to even do the kitchen renovation, after gutting it, the termites were exposed. And so now I had to get the exterminator to pay that enormous bill before they could go any further. And then when I went through further, they said to me, "Oh, Ms. Pinder, we don't use water heaters anymore. If that burst, it'll flood out the house and blah, blah." I said, "So what is it? What is it?" There's someone holding my head because why? There's another expense now. This is something I ain't planned for. I said, "What do you get?" He said, "Oh, you get the tankless water heaters now." So I'm like, okay. What did the project show me? It showed me that it's an uncomfortable process to renovate. It's a hard process to renovate. It's an expensive process to renovate. And the process also showed me that I need to come current because the house can't look like 1976 if it's 2024. And the newness of 2024 means there are certain elevated things you get, like the tankless water heater. This is your house. This is UB. It's 50 years old. Renovations have to happen. You will have to do upgrades. You will have to pull out some systems. You will have to conform to some new things, AI and the like and so forth. You will have to have a new way of doing stuff. It's uncomfortable. It's hard. It's expensive. But it's necessary. And I will tell you, after looking at my beautiful kitchen that looks like it came out of HGTV, it is rewarding. So, my friends, we have grown, we have expanded, we are notably different. But I just don't want us to be notably different. I want us to be substantially better. And I want us to be an institution that when we see its name, it evokes pride. It evokes a sense of purpose. It evokes a spirit that I belong to something that is good and even great. And it evokes a spirit that I am a part of this. And while my name is attached to it, it will have nothing but the best. Those are the words I want to leave you with. I not only wish you a very, very, very good semester and start of this calendar year, academic year, but I wish for you to prosper, my friends, even as your soul prospers. I wish for you to sit back after my talk tonight and reflect on some of the things that I said. And if there was one thing that you can make a difference in, or you can change for yourself or this institution, I say thank you in advance for doing it. You are what this country needs. And this is why we love the University of the Bahamas. Because as Dr. Davis says, this is about building a nation and making sure that this little nation is in good stead for the next 50, 60, 70 years. Have a good day.
Did you enjoy that inspiring?